Yes, we are ready to get started. We have all our judges here with us this morning. Senator Dr. Horton, Judy, we are ready.
I'm here.
You're here?
Yes.
Hi everyone, morning again.
Oh, Nadia, you cut your hair off. Go St. Lucia, go Cayman. How is it over there? All right, we are ready and we have to go right into our competition. Mrs. Nordia, England Proud, is here with us. She's zoomed in from the Cayman Islands.
Nadia, is that you? Long time no see. What's up? I'm not
Go ahead, Dr. Hartley.
Oh, I think I've known Nadia for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm not hearing her, you know.
She's quiet. She's probably just listening. Team St. Lucia from Leon Hess Comprehensive, are you ready?
No, man, I didn't have on the speaker.
All right. We have to go right in and we have to apologize, Mrs. England Prout. You were not here with us. And so we have a forfeit from Jamaica and we're taking the presentations from St. Lucia because we need the scoring points. We still have a competition afterwards. And so the scoring points will be needed. Judy just went off, but our team coaches will be able to travel, or well, they'll have to travel, but they have the option of any sandals in the Caribbean, excluding Sandals Duns River, I believe. And there's another one, but they have the list of sandals. And while Judy is here, I'll take the opportunity to thank her for having the media launch for the National Tourism Debate in St. Lucia. Thank you very much, Judy.
You're very welcome. That was the least we could have done, honestly.
Okay, thank you. Good morning and welcome to the 2022 regional finals of the National Tourism Debate Competition. Today we will leave knowing who our regional winners is. I'm your moderator, Michelle Tulloh, and this morning we should have had Jamaica, Woolmer's Girls versus St. Lucia, Leon Hess Comprehensive High, but because of the CXC exams, graduation, they were unable to attend. So we have accepted their forfeit and St. Lucia will present this morning. Who knows, St. Lucia may be our regional champions and the Bahamas will hand over their trophy to St. Lucia if that is the score. Special thanks to our sponsor, Sanders International, Camco Manufacturing and Hotel Supplies, and MK Sports and Trophies. Our judges this morning, Dr. Andre Horton, Senior Lecturer from the University of the West Indies, Mrs. Nordia England Prout, Program Director from the School of Hospitality, Cayman Islands, and Junie Deteville, Public Relations Manager, Communications Division, Sandals, St. Lucian Spa and Beach Resort. And that's there on the beautiful island of St. Lucia. Our moot this morning, this house believes that visa-free travel should be allowed to all countries within the Commonwealth. So let me repeat that. This house believes that visa-free travel should be allowed to all countries within the Commonwealth. Proposing the moot is Team Jamaica, and opposing the moot is Team St. Lucia. We have excluded our rebuttals for this series to accommodate our score points for Turks and Caicos, who will match at 1 o'clock live from the TCI Islands from the Ministry of Education. So we are looking forward to that match. Our Team St. Lucia is, our first speaker is Jadea Estiva. No, you will correct me on the pronunciations. Ashley Kalicharan and Mr. Noah Andrew. I'm sure the speakers will correct us on the pronunciation. The first speaker is allowed 7 minutes, judges. The second speaker, 5 minutes, and the third, 3 minutes, and there will be no rebuttal, right? Remember, this is a parliamentary style debating, and so St. Lucia is opposing, and they would be the opposition government. The match will begin with our proposing team. However, because of the forfeit, we will take a presentation beginning with the first speaker, Leonhead Jadia Estiva. You may go ahead, Ms. Estiva.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jada Esteva, and the protocol has been established. Just to be clear, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, I'm here this morning accompanied by my teammates to shed light on and open the eyes of the proponents of the idea of granting visa-free access to all of the Commonwealth. I must opine that this issue cannot be entertained without serious investigation into the potential negative impacts on all countries involved if visa-free travel is granted to every member of the Commonwealth. While the idea of promoting ease of movement and fostering cultural exchange seems appealing at first glance, we must carefully consider the consequences before rushing into such a decision. Mr. Speaker, firstly, granting visa-free travel to all members of the Commonwealth can pose serious threats to national security. The European Migration Network stated in an article that the absence of visa requirements could make it easier for criminals, terrorists, and other security threats to move across borders undetected, posing significant threats to national security. End quote. Mr. Speaker, this could open the door for an increase in activities such as drug trafficking, human smuggling, money laundering, and terrorism. Without proper screening measures, it becomes extremely difficult to identify potential threats and ensure the safety of citizens. Mr. Speaker, evidence already exists on a smaller scale of CARICOM and OECS, where visa exemptions occur for short periods. Governments experience many difficulties. The International Organization for Migration, IOM, in a publication entitled Free Movements of Persons in the Caribbean, Economic and Security Dimensions, released in 2019, noted that many government officials were unsure about the overall migration trends occurring, including whether nationals are traveling with skills certificates or work permits, and whether the National Border Management System were appropriately flagging visa overstays and other security risks. What are the repercussions of not being able to adequately flag security risks with borders open to the entire Commonwealth? Mr. Speaker, with the current number of visitors throughout the Caribbean, most countries have difficulty keeping track of vital information as it is. Can you imagine how much more difficult it would be with the influx of people expected with visa-free travel? Police departments, prisons, and judicial systems would experience negative impacts due to rapidly increasing levels of crime and immediate consequence of unvetted people coming in. Mr. Speaker, vetting processes take place for visa approval to ensure that the country and its citizens remain safe. Evaluating and thoroughly examining people who apply for documentation to enter reduces the entry rates of criminals and possible terrorists. These processes examine a person's criminal records, banking history, assets, employment status, authenticates educational credentials such as degrees, professional licenses, and certifications, as well as social media statuses. With increased entries, an increase in the crime rate is inevitable. This directly correlates to increased prison populations, which would lead to police departments needing more officers, more equipment, and more patrols, further crippling our underfunded police departments. Statistica.com suggests, and I quote, "The Caribbean stands out as one of the most violent regions in the Americas, registering some of the worst murder rates in the continent. The domino effect does not end there. The more criminals arrested, the more cases that would be brought to court, leading to increased pressure on the judicial systems." Mr. Speaker, take into consideration just how much time it takes to get a conviction for the smallest crimes in said countries. An increase in cases will not help our already overburdened judicial systems. Moreover, national security and crime are not the only areas that will be impacted by visa-free travel across the Commonwealth. Increased reliance on receiving countries' resources and infrastructure can lead to collapse. Once the borders are open to travelers without visas from all 56 nations of the Commonwealth, the country would not be able to limit the number of persons coming in. Opening the floodgates to unrestricted movements without adequate planning can place a heavy burden on local economies, educational systems, and social services, causing shortages in key areas and straining resources that are already stretched thin. In conclusion, while the idea of visa-free travel for all members of the Commonwealth may seem noble on the surface, it would be detrimental to many, many nations. We must prioritize the essential factors needed to keep a country functional. Careful examination and proper planning are imperative before making any significant policy shifts that affect the sovereignty and long-term well-being of our nations. I thank you.
Excellent points by our first speaker. We will now invite Ms. Samuels. May we have a mic check, please, Ms. Samuels, who is our second speaker. And we'll just allow her to settle in and Dr. Horton to rejoin.
I think the speaker is concerned about her name.
Ashley, oh, sorry, I couldn't hear. Let me cross that out. Because of the script, Jamaica should have been Miss Samuel. Sorry, Ashley. My sincerest apologies, Madam Speaker. All right, Dr. Horton is back with us, and we have Jamaica St. Lucia Cayman White Technology. Would we call it AI technology, but it's good to have three countries together. Hopefully next year we'll be doing this face-to-face in the island of the Bahamas. Ashley, you may go ahead.
Protocol established. Among the 56 independent countries under the Commonwealth, Mr. Speaker, I think we can all agree that one of their general interests is to aid in facilitating the cross-border mobility of people in order to benefit from economic globalization. Yet, mainly due to security concerns, most governments grant visa-free mobility only very selectively. Why is that? It is because by imposing these visa restrictions, it makes it possible to pre-screen who enters the territory before the person even arrives at the border. Visa restrictions help countries to keep out potential illegal immigrants, potential terrorists, and criminals. However, Mr. Speaker, during our extensive research, an interesting term was stumbled upon: citizenship by investment. Not all passports are created equal, and over the past 4 decades, the world's ultra-wealthy have been flocking to buy a different kind of passports, golden passports. formerly known as Citizenship by Investment or CBI, or Residency by Investment RBI programs, facilitates non-resident purchase of citizenship or residency rights and privileges in the issuing jurisdiction. Put it simply, high net worth individuals can purchase fast-track citizenship in select countries. Mr. Speaker, with the wealthy abusing their financial opulence without the confines of visa restrictions, these programs enable spectacular amounts of corruption on both the client or individual level and the issuer or government level. On the client or individual level, CBI or RBI programs provide kleptocrats, terrorists, and other criminals with means to avoid extradition, evade sanctions, launder illicit proceeds, and dodge taxation. Moreover, dual citizenship enables criminals and criminal networks to seamlessly coordinate transnational operations. Some Caribbean passports currently offer visa-free travel for specified periods to a minimum of 144 countries worldwide. How much more access are we willing to give? Or should I dare say sell? The Caribbean basin is also infamously known for harboring billions of dollars worth of tax evasion that would otherwise fund the coffers of some of the largest economies and emerging countries worldwide. Romero 2022. Mr. Speaker, what would we be perpetuating? Moreover, visa-free travel could also promote brain drain, especially in developing countries of the Commonwealth. Mr. Speaker, without the need for visas, our skilled professionals may be enticed by better opportunities in other Commonwealth member countries. This could lead to a loss of valuable human capital, hindering the development of these countries and perpetuating a cycle of dependency. In recent years, we have lost many school teachers and medical personnel to European countries. This could adversely impact our region's productivity by nullifying the effect of resources spent on education and human resource development over the years. The potential exodus of workers tends to attract the more productive ones first, so the initial impacts could introduce significant shocks that may be difficult for recovery. Furthermore, by lifting visa restrictions, we also open doors for illegal immigrants. Now, I know this is not a term that is unfamiliar to any of us. Mr. Speaker, according to the Migration Watch UK, in the United Kingdom alone, the total number of documented illegal immigrants quadrupled from just over 13,000 in 2018 to more than 52,000 in 2022. Illegal immigration can lead to an enormous drain on public funds, accommodating the needs of endless numbers of poor, unskilled illegal entrants undermines the quality of education, healthcare, and other services for the member states of the Commonwealth. Workers will have to compete against job-desperate illegal immigrants, unfairly depressing the wages and working conditions offered to legal residents. Illegal immigration overwhelms communities by crowding classrooms, consuming already limited affordable housing, and increasing the strain on precious natural resources. Mr. Speaker, how much more do we want to cripple our economies? Is the access already granted to our vulnerable nation not enough? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Judges, although we have a missing team, Jamaica, we ask that when you are delivering your points, you will make some pointers as to how the proposing team probably would have responded on some of the points from Team St. Lucia. And so we have Mr. Noah Andrew. Mr. Andrew, are you ready, sir?
Yes, I am.
Okay, you may go ahead. Or third speaker, Mr. Andrew.
Protocol established. Visa-free travel across the Commonwealth. How idealistic such an idea sounds. The virtue of justice consists in moderation as regulated by wisdom. Aristotle 384 BC. Ultimate freedom requires perfect responsibility, and the freedom afforded by visa-free travel cannot be trusted to afford only responsible and positive influences. This freedom can be directly attributed to its eventual detriment. Within every society across the globe, there are negative aspects and intrinsic ills. Imagine an eventuality where all the negative aspects of society freely traverse across the world. The purpose of the visa is not to restrict travel, but to regulate and contain travel and record those with access to a country. Only with this regulation, only under supervision, can globalization be sustainable. The current visa systems employed across the Caribbean and the US have been in development for decades. Even so, these systems are not sufficiently developed to fully contain and record migration trends, the dispositions of the individuals with access to unfettered travel, and the economic strain afforded by visa-free travel. CARICOM and OECD states have continually recorded findings that information storage pertaining to migratory patterns as well as travel parameters are unreliable at best. Mr. Speaker, what happens when the contents of the entire Commonwealth spill into each other from every angle? In order for any progression in the pursuit of globalization to be accomplished, the existing systems must be strengthened and refined, not an expansion of visa-free travel. Already, these systems have provided a framework whose benefits can be seen across the world. The current necessity is cooperation and innovation. Border management organizations across various nations must consult and collaborate to develop information sharing centers and efficient documentation of migrants. Only through these efforts will the fruit of globalization be reaped with little negative repercussion. Substantial advancements are necessary not only in the aforementioned systems, but in the anti-fraud and money laundering facilities within the Commonwealth and especially the Caribbean. When a country's legal framework and financial system facilitates corporate tax abuse and financial secrecy, it attracts undeclared and very likely illicit financial flows from abroad, generating the phenomenon known as offshore wealth accumulation, Romero 2022. Mr. Speaker, we cannot open our doors to an influx of travelers if the systems we have to monitor and deter the abuse of our generosity is underdeveloped. I thank you.
And we thank you all, three speakers. Let's have a round of applause. We will now I think they're doing a photo op. We will now give our judges the opportunity to tally their scores. And we will return with our scores from our judges. Hi, Dr. Horton. I know that there is a breakout room. Judy is there waiting just to discuss the points and any feedback that you may have. Are you seeing the invitation?
Where would the invitation be, Michelle?
It's on. Dr. Horton is there. Let me see. Are you seeing anything prompting on your screen, Nadia?
It was, but I kept clicking it off because I didn't know. It would be in the email though.
No, it would be on your screen. Give me a second.
Okay.
The best of all. How she brought the points across and articulated her stance.
Nadia,
Yes.
I actually have you trying to move you, but it's not allowing me to.
Okay.
She could be stronger
Um,
in how she brought the point across about the visa.
It's not allowed. I think you deleted it.
The third speaker now, I think he spoke broadly on the issue, but there were no specificities in his articulation relative to others, and so forth. If I were rebutting from Jamaica, then I would look at the CSME and also the whole free movement of labor has assisted many countries, or how the movement of labor rather to support free movement has assisted countries to enhance their developmental pursuits. It's a labor match, search and match that's taking place all over the world, and a trading block. If you consider yourself to be a trading block, then you're looking at the free movement of resources, goods, services, and money. So and people. So the idea is that we would want to say, okay, we look at the level of training, the level of education across different countries, their requirements, and so on, and how they would move across. So that would be the approach that I would have taken.
I agree with you, except the real reason, the real issue that you keep pulling out
It's more
Okay, we will begin in a few. All right, welcome back. We have our scores tallied from our judges. Reminder that we will not have a rebuttal section, and so our score would have not 100, maybe 80 to 100 points would not have been included. Allow me to use the opportunity to thank our adjudicators, and we want our adjudicators like you guys have to continue to support our students. Dr. Andre Horton, Senior Lecturer from the University of the West Indies, Mrs. Northern England Proud, Program Director from the School of Hospitality, and that's in Cayman, and Judy Detterville, Public Relations Manager, Communications Division, and she's coming from St. Lucia, Sandals St. Lucia Spa and Beach Resort. We also want to thank our sponsors, Sandals Resort International, Camco Manufacturing and Hotel Supplies, and MK Sports and Trophies. We have the total score. However, I will allow the judges the opportunity to give any feedback that they may have. They had a short discussion in the breakout room, and I guess it would have been longer if there was a rebuttal section. But I think, Judy, you may go ahead and give us your feedback as to what you thought of the match and how the pointers could have been different.
Protocol being established. Hello again, everyone. Students, I really want, the students are, they're in somewhere, right? They can hear us as well? The students are able to hear us?
Students, are you here? Did they disappear? Give me a second.
Okay.
Judy, you may go ahead. I think they can hear, but they're having technical difficulties, and we're streaming live. It's being recorded, so go right ahead.
Okay, so I wanted to congratulate them all. They were very, very good. Each speaker had their own sort of strength. The first speaker, obviously appearing first, was confident and was able to relay her information quite well, I thought, with good analysis and interpretation of the topic. The second speaker provided good support as well. And the third speaker, where I felt he needed some help, some of his intonation was a bit weak. I suspect perhaps coming after the ladies, he was a bit perhaps put off a little bit by that. But I mean, he certainly has his strengths as well. Generally, though, in terms of from the analysis, the arguments, the accuracy, and organization and reasoning content part of the discussion, the marks were pretty close. Obviously, a lot of work went into the research. And so the points were well raised, well put together. The arguments were fairly well delivered. And I say fairly well simply because I think not having the proposition to listen to their side, the opposing arguments seemed a bit weak based on that, not having the balance. So therefore, it came across as though they were just sort of reading rather than delivering a point based on what somebody else had said. But overall, the weaker areas that can perhaps need some assistance, and that's not just with today, but for the rest of their lives, is with the style, the voice, the gestures, and the stance. So for example, if I'm involved in a debate and I want to make a position, then I will do something extra. I will perhaps stand to make a particular point. I will use my hands to encompass the crowd, imagined, because obviously you're in a Zoom position. But certainly there are gestures that can be made to create emphasis and to include, to be more inclusive as well when you're making a strong point that you want people to believe, because they may not be of like mind. And so you want to put on a show to really bring them into your ideas because you're sort of trying to make them believe you one way or another. So that could have been worked on by all of you. The voice was okay. So each of you was able to speak clearly and enunciate reasonably well, but it's in terms of the gestures, the stance, and the style that I felt each of you could have done more. I'm hoping that perhaps, again, had you had the proposition, that may have made a difference, but I'm not sure. So, I mean, I marked you sort of being gentle in that regard, but for the rest of your lives, when you're involved in a public speaking element, then you want to express yourself with everything that you have and to make the point using your eyes, using your eyebrows, using the facial, using the hands as much as you can to bring the audience into the point that you're trying to make. But overall, though, very good points raised and certainly well developed. The one other thing I wanted to make, the point I was making with the Dr. Horton in the other group was really hoping that the discussion would have gone on to include something about the economic and social union that this could have benefits for. And I guess that would have come in a rebuttal if it was brought up by the proposition, that they would have said that the having visa restrictions removed would then create a larger space for economic development, political development, as well as social growth for the region, a similar pattern following the European Union. But then now that brings into the whole issue of the Brexit issue. So I just wanted to sort of throw that out there, just, for more thoughts and more thinking by the young people, for themselves in the future. So that's my take on the matter, but really interesting points raised. And I'm really pleased with the level of self-development and presentation that I saw today. So thank you for that.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I have to ask Judy, were you a debater?
No, but I have taught.
You have taught, okay.
Correct, yes.
Thank you, educators. The overall score, and this would include Mrs. Northern England Proud, Dr. Andre Horton, and Judy Detterville from the Sandals Resort, St. Lucia, is 660 points. And remember, I would have told you that without the rebuttal, you would have missed that 100 or 80 that would have been applied. So well done. Please, may we give them a round of applause. They did not have a lot of time to prepare. They had CXCs. They had to wait on their counterpart, Turks and Caicos. They also had graduation. And I want to congratulate Coach Naomi for doing such a good job. St. Lucia have been waiting for 2 years to join this competition. And we are looking forward to St. Lucia National Tourism Debate, which will kick off in September, allowing the other students to participate. So thank you very, very much. Later on today, we will find out who the regional champions are, and we will now take a break until 1 o'clock, when we will accept Turks and Caicos presentation. So thank you, adjudicators. A fantastic debate by Team Leon Hess Comprehensive High, who is representing St. Lucia today. I'm your host, Michelle Tulloch. Thank you for tuning in. To those online, YouTube, thanks once again. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Blessings, everyone. Blessings.
Thank you, Dr. Horton. Thank you, Nordia.
Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone.
Bye. If I could get this.